gonna go for something that sounds sad. Yeah, I like that key. Ooh. Man for pressure. That actually matches. That's nice. The kick. I'm hearing a stick. I want this to be Afro swing. First things first, you need to change your BPM here to the speed you want for your beat. For mine, I have it at 90. So when you go there, right click, you can go here and say type, and you will type the exact BPM that you want. Next thing is to make sure that you set a limiter on your master channel. The reason for this is so that when you're creating your music, you don't want things pushing above a certain limit. You will have distortion and noises that you don't want to hear. Next thing now would be for me to load up my first instrument, which I have already done. And this first instrument is right here. Right click there, you have this option, track mode. And under that, you have the instrument track. Under this, you have the instruments that you will have in FL Studio, and you can choose those ones. I'm using Xenology. Xenology is a plugin that is owned by Roland. Before I make the drums, for me, I want to make the chords. And I feel pretty down, so I'm going to go for something that sounds sad. I want to see a key that I like. When we go up here, you'll see this snap to scale tool. If you right click on that, you can select the different scales. I'm going to go to minor natural, go there, right click again, and make sure it's selected to C. Let's come up with some chords. We call this a minor 7th chord. You see the highlighted notes here? When you press on one, you skip the next note in that scale that's highlighted, which is this one right here. And then you put the next note. That's how you build chords. The next step, same thing. Skip this highlighted one, paint another note above that. This was the first, skip to the second, and then third. Skip to the fourth, this is the fifth. Skip to the sixth, this is the seventh. The way you know that this is minor or major is just the spaces here. If it starts with 2 spaces between the first 2 notes, that's a minor chord. If it starts with 3 spaces like this, that's a major chord. That doesn't sound as sad to me. Yeah, I like that key. So I've just dropped everything down by 1, which means that we are from C to B. And then that's what I want to choose here to be B. We can move these up or down an octave, and that's just control down. Maybe we could move this one down and one more there. Ooh, that is so nice. Okay, I like that. I like that. That's it. We're going to build the other chords same way. I think this one maybe needs to be like that. Oh, that's a correct one. And then this one. I'll push some of these up. I think these two can go up. That's okay, but maybe we could. So I'm just gonna chop some of these notes here, and you just press insert, you chop it when you scroll over the note, just like that. We're figuring out that melody that I was talking about now. All right, I see what it's supposed to be. It's up there, and then do do. I like that. We can raise this up a little bit. All right, this is a strange sound, but I think I might use this one. So the next step is to get this to a point where it's not the plugin playing, but it's the waveform that I'll record right now playing. That frees up some of that processing power that I don't really have on this laptop. And then it prevents these noises that you might hear sometimes when I'm playing this because it's processing too much. So quickly, that's easy to do. We just go here. Make sure I rename this to electric piano first because I don't want to mess up when I'm arranging and I see that the names of the stuff is not what I'm looking for. And then quick render is audio clip. What does that do? That allows me to now access a waveform when I go to the playlist here. That is right there. So drag and drop it into the playlist and you have it right there. I think what's next is maybe to build something on top of this. I think a vocal would be nice. I did find a free pack though of Afrobeats vocal loops that is here, so I might use one of these. This kind of feeling no day ever stop. Oh, so real. You dey cause tension. You dey cause tension. I think I like that one. You dey cause. Drag and drop it into the playlist like that. Let me fit to the speed of this one here. So we go down here and do detect. Sorry, not detect, fit to tempo. And type in 105. You dey cause tension. You dey cause tension. But the good man for pressure. That actually matches. Let me just pitch that up. So those riffs that he's doing at the end of phrases, that's what I'm looking for. At the end of this one too. Okay, I only like those two parts only. I like that. That's a nice pattern. And what we're going to do next is make sure that it sounds washed up, right? So this is supposed to be vocal. Right click there, select the name, vocal, done. Control L to paste that again. So the washing out effect adds that flow between the vocal notes, and this sounds sad to me as I planned, so I think it's working out. There's always a guitar in tracks like these, and I want them to play as chords for now that support this electric piano that we have. I like this one. This one was free at the time. I don't know if it's free now. It's coming from Sound Props guitar series. It looks like this. I think I'll follow these the way they are, because so. Something sounds off about these. Or maybe these need to move. That's nice. But let that be first. So how about it starts there, this there, like that. So it'll be rising like the last one here. Before it starts tripping as it's doing right now, I just need to decide what kind of guitar I'm getting and then send it to be as a waveform just like I did with the electric piano. I did like Twang at some point, or SC Box 2. I like that. I'm taking that. Renaming this to guitar, and I'm gonna make sure that we also have the color that's right. Every one of my melodics is usually that color, and I get to put this in its own mixer channel, render selected track to wave file. And then I put this to 24 usually. Leave remainder, yes. And then we just press start. We'll find that under the waveforms tool. We have that, but it doesn't name it as guitar. So rename it. And now it's going to play only the waveform. Immediately, what you can hear are some muddy frequencies. I'll show you what I mean by actually mixing these quickly. Go here in slot 1. We'll see the parametric EQ to one of the effects that we have. And this helps us clean our frequencies. I'm just going to be playing this. And then notice these frequencies around the 2 number here. That's what we want to get rid of. And I want to brighten it a bit, so you do that in the high mids here or the presence somewhere there. So before it was sounding like this. Now it sounds like, but it's lower, so we increase it by turning up this. Same thing with the electric piano. I'm just looking for those muddy frequencies, clean them up. Brighten it up a bit. I usually increase the mids for my electric piano, so somewhere here, or high mids, somewhere there. The drums, we have the stems. These are free drums. They're from, I'll put it on the screen. There's a whole pack there that has the drums and their stems, which means I can access each instrument that's in those drums. So here I did like the kick. And what I can do is chop it up by going to the master channel here. I load up Edison, click E until you find Edison right there. And I'm just going to drag and drop that into Edison. You know, zoom in and you will see that each of those is a kick. This is a slice tool, so when you click on that, it selects where each kick is and it will slice it out for you automatically, which means I can zoom in here, double click, and it will only select that one kick. You can just open that up like that. All right, to delete everything except this kick that we have selected, Control Delete. We can keep this marker or just go where it is until you see that hand and right click and delete it, drag and drop it in the channel rack. We can rename this to kick. Now, see the space we included when we were cutting the kick? We want to close that up by just dragging this, and so it'll close that up for us. I would like to add drums here, like that. All right, we have our own pattern for the drums. I'm hearing a stick. Drag and drop in there. There's a stick right after the snare, which is exactly this one. Same process from here to there. I'm going to rename this as snare, and you find your recent colors down here. I want this to be Afro swing, so one simple kick, one rim shot right there, and another one down here. I want to double this. Maybe I might want to do a variation, so let's have this happen twice, and here twice as well.